This video shows now the final step to connect the database to your Angular app. That's what we see here on the left side. These are data from my database, and this is my web API where I may check now the get list method. When we did do this one again, when we refresh that site, go in there, get list, then we get a list, we click on there, execute, then we get a list of articles in a JSON format. There's an ID and a title, and green is the string and the number is in red written like this, and it comes from this URL articles get list. How do we get this one? And this is rooted on this point, so when we are here and have a look on the on that stuff, then you see it will load the data here from get list, then it loads the data and it shows that data on that left side. So this is written in Angular. We have done the web API in the last step, and now we are connecting the database. The database, for this we have to do the following stuff. We have to set the connection string from the builder configuration, get connection string, default connection, and then we have to say add the database context, so the database connection, use SQL Server by this connection string. So where's the connection string? The connection string is in app settings. There you add the connection string, default connection, and there you say it's SQL Express on your local machine. It costs nothing. From your local machine to your local machine, fully SQL Server. You miss nothing on there, and you simply say database is the database name. That's all. So we have the connection. We have the in app settings. Where am I pointing to? Then we set up our article controller, our model. The model has to be in the same, by the same naming of here. For example, it has an ID and it has a title. I'm always looking up that stuff in my SQL Server Management Studio. When you're there, you will see, you find this one, articles here. This is table, select top 1000. You see there's an ID and there's a title field, both of type string. We go to design, in this case. You see it's integer, but it's the long integer, and there's an in varchar 255 characters. So that's what you see there. You don't have to set the max key length, for example, but simply an int and a string. And then that's under models. Then you do one of the most important things. You create here under, if you don't have it, under data application DB context. In there you set Microsoft Entity Framework core. You're using this one. You add it under here with the, if it's not there, go there and say NuGet package. Where's my NuGet package? Go and select the project, and now I should have to stop it. When you stop it, then you may select Manage NuGet Package Manager, and then add the Entity Framework. Then say Application DB Context of type DB Context. That's the database connection, which these two, this DB Context is in here in the framework. Then you say that's the initialization, and you need one block. You say I have a local database set of the type of this model class, which is written in here. It's embedded in here, and I call it any name. And here I always say table, for example. So I know this is like a local table or a runtime table. It's a data set, DB set, database set. And then here on the model creating, you say connect this database, connect this stuff to table, it's where it's coming from, to TBL from the real table. So this is from the name how this table is called. So, and you don't have to DBO, the database objects or owner. You don't have to write it simple this way. Entity connect to table, this one. In the controller, last step, you say, this is my controller. In my get method, in where there's my get method, if it's not defined directly, if you have multiple open bracket, closing bracket, get list, for example, so it reacts on that list. Then you say, create a query from T. So this is possible if you have the entity framework in here, so it comes from here somewhere. And then you say, the language is called link, from this table from the data or data set where you're calling the TBL, that local table. That's why we do it in here. That's why we say here, this is my table and I'm connecting it on this and on there. So it's a data set. From this table, from the database, from the original table, order this one, create a select order by the ID descending, and then select the same one. Select the table row or table structure with all fields. You may also do here only some definite columns. Then you say take 10 examples from there, and then transfer it to a list, and that's it. Now you're done. And as soon as you start it, you will see then this window, this one. You see this one. That's all automatically done by the Swagger get list. You say, hey, I'm testing this one, try it out. And now I throw a web request to this URL, to the get list. And these are the results in JSON. That's a classic JSON result. You may do the same in your in the browser straight by, if you're something like a machine testing this one, you see this one, that's the same. And then in your Angular code, that's not what I'm not writing now. What I don't show is in Angular we are also pushing our URL, so this get list, and then we write it to our local array, and finally we show it somewhere in a component HTML. So where is it, my app component? Here it is. I have to scroll, and therefore we show it the entire list. So that's it. You will find a small documentation of all those steps in my database. The link will be somewhere below.